Hello everyone! Welcome back to Raven Relics. I hope you're all doing well and are hanging in there. It is officially September 1st, which means that I am in full autumn Halloween mode with no shame. This is my favorite time of year, and if you watched my last video where I flipped through the little Halloween collage booklet that I made, you will know that I have been in autumn/Halloween mode for weeks, basically since the first week of August. So this last week I gave myself a fun little challenge. I told myself that I was going to try to make 3 books in 5 days. Now, normally I don't even work at a fraction of that pace. I generally take my time with my books. I do not like to rush at all because I consider these books to be my artwork, kind of like my version of paintings, and I don't want to rush, ever. But I figured at this point, I kind of have a general idea of what I'm going for with my blank journals, enough so that I could quicken the pace and they would still turn out well. So I gave myself the challenge to make 3 books in 5 days, and I ended up making these 3 books in 7 days. I'm honestly amazed that I even managed to pull that off. So I can officially say that I made these 3 books in 1 week. Which is kind of impressive, at least to myself. And of course, they are Gothic, dark / Victorian Gothic, and Halloween-esque in vibe, because I am just in love with it. I pretty much just only want to make those kinds of books. So they're all more or less the same in terms of their basic structure. So we should be able to flip through them relatively quickly. These are, you could say, my standard blank journals. So when I say I make a blank journal, this is what I'm talking about. Let's start with this one in the middle, because it's my favorite. Okay, so all the usual things: professional bookbinder's board for the covers. Archival grade adhesive is used throughout. I used 50-pound drawing paper for the text block and 100% Irish linen waxed thread for the binding. We have a black sari ribbon closure, and looped through is a real vintage key. This, I don't know exactly how old it is, but it is legitimately vintage, if not antique. Now, a little something different that I did with these books is I added a strip of fabric to the spine. Now, technically the spine is this open part, Coptic stitch, so it's an open spine. But here where the thread comes into the cover, I added a strip of fabric just to give it a little bit of a border. So this paper is, oh, I'm obsessed with this patterned paper. I don't know what it is. I just love it. And I'm also equally obsessed with this gorgeous, gorgeous label, which is by Nick the Booksmith. So that's the front, and this fabric, by the way, I have used before to make a journal cover. Michelle from Country Morning Creations is the one who purchased that journal. So Michelle, if you're watching, hello, this is your journal fabric. Lots of spine again, and here's the back. It is 240 pages. Each of them, all 3, are 240 pages. Now, let's go right inside. We have a black velvet bookmark. And then this is the debut of some absolutely stunning, delicious, luxurious, I don't even know, amazing marbled paper. I have a couple different types of marbled paper from this same company, and this is the first time that I've used the red marbled paper, and it looks just as fabulous as I hoped it would. So inside of this front cover pocket, because all of my blank journals have a front cover pocket, we've just got a bunch of ephemera, Gothic related ephemera, some beautiful tags, and then a big piece of old Italian ephemera. It's a big piece of paper that folds out. I won't fold it out. And you can see that I wrapped the fabric all the way around, and then I glued the pocket down. So the pocket, the fabric is not impeding on the pocket at all. And just look at that marbled paper. Oh my gosh. It's, I'm sure the camera, as always, is not picking up the full gorgeousness that it is, because I'm just using my phone, but it is just divine, and it feels amazing. Feels amazing. Okay. Stick everything back in there. And of course, everything has been coffee dyed with baking soda, and all of the ephemera has been aged with Distress ink. Now, this is a new thing that I've started to do with my blank journals and all of my journals. I love, in old books, really, really old antique books, there's a thing called a tissue guard that goes over plates. So any illustrations or pictures, usually you'll find a light, delicate piece of tissue paper that goes over it just to prevent the transfer of ink between the pages. And so I decided, because for me that's kind of like, I don't know, that's just like a classic old book quality to have those tissue guards. So all of my books now will have a tissue guard over the first page. And then the first page, the actual first page, is a gorgeous title page. And so in this one, it is this big, ornate, kind of Baroque Gothic looking border. And of course the tissue paper itself is also coffee dyed. And then begins the blank paper, the 240 pages of blank paper. And in each of these books, right at the first page, I have stuck a big sheet of some kind of ephemera or another that I felt went well with the book. So it is this image in this book. And then, of course, a little ways in, we have the other side of that tissue paper. But 240 pages, all blank. And here is the back of this one. There is my stamp. And I just love the way that this fabric looks against this red marbled paper. So beautiful. And of course, a fancy schmancy nameplate. So that's that one. My personal favorite. Now let's move on to the other black one. This one, which is my boyfriend's favorite. He told me, after I specifically asked him, tell me which one is your favorite. This is his favorite. So same deal, all the same basic materials. Sorry, ribbon closure. The same exact vintage slash antique key. And the label on this one says Specimen Book 1870. Here's the spine and the back. All right, and because this one said Specimen Book on that front label, I went with a little bit more of a nature vibe with the ephemera. So here's that black velvet bookmark. And then we have Raven ephemera, a piece of that hand marbled paper as a tag. the hand marbled paper from the last book. A bunch of little teeny tiny tags, a little baby envelope, bookmarks, another nature raven themed piece of ephemera, and then we have this pretty gold wallpaper style end paper. And of course we have the tissue guard, excuse me, the tissue guard over the first page, because that's just my thing now. Beautiful stains. And then this is probably my favorite title page. Just a beautiful border for you to write whatever you want, if anything. And then we begin. The beautiful, beautiful coffee dyed paper, and the big sheet of ephemera in this one is a plate of a bunch of different types of owls, and you can see the little tiny letters next to each owl. You know, the little reference letters, I guess that's what you'd call them, on specimen plates. So that is that one. Beautiful, beautiful. Here is the back, my stamp, and the nameplate. Boom. Dunsky. And last but not least, we have the one that's a little different. This is the purple one that's a little bit more, I don't know, I guess I would call it more Halloween-y, Halloween vibes, as opposed to straight up gothic. So all the same materials. This time, around the sari ribbon closure, we have 2 keys, which are also real vintage keys, but you can tell compared to the other 2 keys that they are not quite as old. I would call these 2 from the first 2 books truly antique keys. These are more vintage. They look to me probably like they're from the, I don't know, 70s maybe? 70s, 60s, 70s? Don't know, but they're old and they're real. So we have this beautiful floral purple paper, and this book, for whatever reason, is the only one that wanted corner protectors. And I didn't realize that I wanted this to have corner protectors until I had basically already finished the covers. So these are just little triangles of fabric that I glued down. They don't actually wrap all the way around, so it's more decorative. And then we have a blank black ornate label on the front, backed with the end papers, or a scrap of the end paper, which you'll see when I open it up. And this one has a little bit something special going on the back. So this isn't an old vintage black and white photo of a man that I used in my Halloween booklet from my last video, and it is a pocket. So I just stuck this quack medicine piece of ephemera in there, and the little corner protector goes right over the picture, so it's tucked in there. Here's the spine, same. Let's go right inside. So you can see there's that the green end papers. Make sure I'm centered. And we've got a whole bunch of random ephemera in here. Some little Tim Holtz pieces, one of my favorite digital images, just journal cards and tags, and then this is a big fold-out page of a Renaissance-looking woman. There's that beautiful green paper. This is a big tag. It's a big one, really long. And of course I fuss with everything and make it perfect, but I'm just stuffing it back in there for now. There's the black velvet bookmark. tissue guard. And this title page is also a little bit different. Gorgeous circular ornate frame, and I really water stained the heck out of it and then burnt this edge up here. So it's super grungy and perfect. And then we have the big sheet of ephemera for this book. Of course, they are all printed on coffee dyed paper. Okay. And here's the back, my stamp, and the nameplate I've used a couple times with other books. Skeleton holding a bunch of books. Boom. Okay, so those are my 3 books that I somehow, some way, managed to create in a single week. I wrote about it on Instagram, and I will reiterate myself here. There's no way I could possibly keep up that pace, at least not at this point in my life. I just can't. I just can't. A lot of things would have to be different for me to be able to maintain that pace of creation. It's not a problem. This was really just an experiment. I wanted to push myself and give myself a specific goal and just see what I could technically do if I had to. So now I know that I can technically make 3 blank journals in 7 days. But I'm not going to keep doing it. If I wanted to keep giving myself a weekly goal, I think even just 2 books a week would be way, way more realistic. But I'm not necessarily trying to do that. Again, this was just kind of for fun, to push myself. So these will be available in my Etsy shop very, very soon, within the next couple of days. So that is it for now. I hope that you like them. I am really on the Gothic autumn Halloween train, and I want to keep up with this type of theme. I am currently working on my Jude the Obscure book, as you guys all know. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm working on that huge tome. Now that these are done, I'm going to refocus back onto the Jude book and see if I can maybe finish that or get close to finishing that before making some more blank journals. But anyway, these will be in my shop soon. Stay tuned to my Instagram for when they will be available. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.